All right, buddy. So what's your name and where you from?
Malcolm Allen, and I'm from Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore, Maryland. And ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna be a good one for me because he's a part of a organization. Actually, you told me to Google you, and a lot of this stuff already came up, and I read about what you went in for. So before we get into that, go ahead and tell the people what sent you to prison, man. How much time did you end up doing?
Well, I've been to prison twice. I went to prison in like 99, 2000. I went to Maryland State System for attempted murder and possession of a firearm. And then I came home in 2000, end of 2005, beginning of '06. And then in 2007, I caught my Fed case. And that was for, the crack cocaine stuff, distribution of crack cocaine and stuff like that. They gave me 18 years. And I still had 11 years to back up from my original state sentence. So altogether, I had like 29 years. I just did 12 years flat, and I came home June 11th of this year. I went to the state from like 99 to
Okay,
2005.
okay,
And
okay.
then I came home and then caught the Fed case. They snatched me out of Texas because I was coming back and forth from Texas and, you know what I'm saying, shipping them things through the mail.
Yeah.
So that was my case, but my case is from Baltimore, but they snatched me out of Texas.
All right. So Baltimore, Maryland, ladies and gentlemen, and a lot of people that know anything about Baltimore, there's a lot of individuals a part of the organization Dead Men Incorporated (DMI), and from what you told me, that's the organization that you ran with in the penitentiary, correct? Or even out in the streets.
Started in prison. We started in prison in like 99, 2000. I became a member in 2003 when the one of the main dudes, Big Rock Perry Rourke, you know what I mean? He was at ECI, and I came in under not directly him, but I was on the compound with him. So a few other people that's well known, you know what I'm saying?
So
Uh,
if you're coming home around the time or joining the organization around the time that they're in that establishment, it's probably authentic as hell. You know what I mean? I'm sure it wasn't too much fake shit going on. I really know nothing about DMI, and I don't want to make it a whole gang lecture or whatever you like to call organization lecture. I do have a couple questions for you, man. Maybe you could answer. Is it true? Well, first off, is it an all-white organization?
See, I will tell you this, that right now the gang is split from the feds because the dude Sweeney, who really is no good because he sent all our paperwork and stuff to the Baltimore Sun and to the Maryland court system. You can get it on Google, you know what I
And he's
mean?
like a
But
leader, correct?
yes, I actually took his spot. Uh, the other leader, there was three main supreme commanders. So Brian Jordan was my cellie in the feds and gave me his spot and X'd him out basically. But he's been like single celled and PC'd basically behind the door. He don't get it messed up. He's a guerrilla gangster with a knife. You know what I mean? Like he's a whack job. You
I've
know what I'm
heard some
saying?
more stories about that guy, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's they got a story where they killed the dude in the cell in Beaumont, him and another dude that I know, you know what I'm saying, personally. And they say they was doing things to his body and all types of stuff. They had him in the cell for a week, dead body, just chilling.
Damn.
You know, but
Holy shit.
he tried to start like more of a white organization in the feds called DMU here in Maryland. They smash all them guys. You know what I mean?
DMU. What's the U stand for?
Dead
United?
man, Dead Man United.
Dead
You
Men
know,
United.
and they're in the feds. They're recruiting anybody from all over. You know what I'm saying? Which we already had people from the
All
different
white
like
though.
all white. Yes.
Okay. Wasn't that originally how it was supposed to be with DMI? Or I heard it was kind
Well,
of like a, because he had a lot of ties to Black Gorilla, and a lot of white dudes can't join that, of course.
he's Greek, so he's not completely white,
Yeah.
but he couldn't be a BGF member, so they allowed us to start an organization. And yes, we were, we were silent hitmen. There's a silent code, you know what I'm saying, for the BGF, and we were one of them basically. Our name wasn't even DMI. It was another name. A lot of people don't know. We were called Angels of Death. So, and then in 2000 or 2001, he changed it to DMI. He liked wrestling and stuff. So you remember the Undertaker stuff and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So he got the idea from there and changed it. But yes, we did basically do contracts for them because who thought our state system is mostly black? There's not that. It might be more white now. I haven't been in the state system in over 15 years. So you know, back then I was the only white guy in a block for like 400 dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but you wouldn't expect this white guy to go, do something to this black guy. But see, where we're from, whites and blacks are united.
Yeah.
My whole neighborhood, like I don't get treated like I'm some white guy or anything like that. I'm treated as who I am. Like so the racism in Baltimore isn't like racism you see in other states, maybe even Virginia or West Virginia or the South or nothing like that. So like, it's completely different, man, like completely.
Yeah.
So it's nothing for you to go fight a black dude or whoever or whatever, and they don't care about none of that. They ain't saying, "Oh, the white man's jumping on the black guy."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It might be me and a black dude jumping on another black guy or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They don't look at that. Like color don't get seen unless you're a racist.
Yeah.
I mean, which you're not going to be a racist in the Maryland state system, or at least back in the day. Like I have heard now they have like Maryland ABs.
Yeah.
I guess that's because they had an AB dude that they swapped with a BGF dude. I guess to Arizona, and an Arizona AB dude came in. You know how I never understood how they swap the gangs and take you from this state. They do state placements and stuff. Like they're trying to break the gang up, but all you really do is just build the
Spreading it.
gang.
Spreading
Hey,
it.
you spreading it. So I don't know if they do it on purpose or they're really dumb. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because in the feds, it's a lot of police brutality, man. They're dogging us out. They're treating us bad. I talk to men on a regular basis from multiple different prisons, mostly penitentiaries, because I've been to some FCIs,
Uh-huh.
but I started in the penitentiaries and the feds, and then I started to go lower, and then I started to go back up. I've been to the new ADX, which is in Chicago. That's where I was released from. It's the SMOO program, but if you look it up, it's the new ADX. They actually have the regular ADX dudes there and stuff. We just don't get the privileges like Florence, Colorado do. I was supposed to come home in March, but I just got transferred from Oklahoma City because that's their main hub in Oklahoma. You don't even leave the plane pulls right up to the jail at the airport. You
Yeah,
know what
I
I mean?
hear that's pretty damn wild, man. They got their own
Yes.
personal little criminal airport.
Yeah. So like I just made the last flight. Like people didn't leave out of there because I left and I actually had a detainer because for my prior probation. So Maryland came and picked me up. And so I had to sit for about a total another 30 days because I was released May 22nd, but didn't get out till June 11th. And but they, like my friends told me it was like August towards September before they started shipping people again and moving people around.
Yeah.
So I just got lucky.
All right, so I don't know too much about the feds. It's cool that you've been to the state as well, because I might have to compare the two later on, and you can give me a good answer to that. But um, tell me, man, when you're in the feds, was your organization, prominent, or was it one or two and far in between?
So I can tell you like this, right? DMI or DMU or whatever they want to call it now is starting to like they beef with most white gangs, so they can only really walk a couple yards. For a minute, they was only gonna let us walk dropouts type yards, like special needs yards, because there wasn't that many of us in the penitentiaries.
In the
So
feds, or this was
in the
state as
feds,
well? Okay,
not in the
feds.
feds,
Yeah.
because me and Brian Jordan, which was the other SC, we were at the Lewisburg SMOO program, and we got into it with some VBS dudes, another gang, a white gang. They jumped on us. We've been wrecking them these in the cages with them for 5 months, and then one day they just decided they wanted the like sucker punches and shit. So it was like 2-on-3 in the wreck cage. So they got the better of us because that we was blindsided, but it wasn't too bad. But their old deal is because we run with a gang that's mixed. You know what I mean? We weren't like white. See, when I first came to the feds, I didn't know how the feds was. So I went to USP Victorville in California.
Victorville.
and they
Okay.
put me in the with the white guys. So I'd never, so I'm like a person that don't believe in jumping ship. They call it cars in the feds.
Yeah.
So like I was on what you call white time in the feds originally, but like for real, being from Baltimore and DMI, you got like 1 to 2 strikes already from the door. Like that, all the other white guys already don't like you. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I never really had no problems. I'm not a person that has a lot of problems. I mean, I've had little incidents, but usually because of me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or somebody else, but like it's not a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they put me in a cell with the white people, but I instantly seen that in California, the inmates ran the prisons. Like they told the officers what was going on and everything. Like it was a whole different environment from being in back in Maryland state system.
Really?
So, and in the feds, everything is wide open. It don't matter if you got 20 life sentences, whatever. Like even in the penitentiary, they open the doors at like back. Well, everything's a little different now. It changed dramatically since I was in. But when I first went in at 5:30 in the morning, they opened them doors, and they're open to 3:45 in the afternoon. They do their little count, and then they let you back out, and you're open to 10 o'clock, and you can just move around, man. So like and they got one cop until like a few years later that an officer got killed, and then they started putting 2 cops in the evening time, but during the day it was mostly one. But like, man, if you got an issue with somebody, like, you better be about your business. That's one thing I will say that they don't expose, because they don't let cameras in the feds, is they don't talk about things, but they got a lot of murders. I know the dude that killed Whitey Bulger personally. You know what I'm saying? Well, there was a couple of them, but I know the one dude personally. I
The
know a
guy
lot
they
of
got
people.
convicted for.
Yeah. So like I
Tell
know
me
a lot
about
of.
it, man. Tell me about it.
I mean, I know I wasn't there because
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
at
Oh
Hazleton,
shit,
but
I'm
I
out of
know
here.
the dude. He's from the town, the
Uh-huh.
movie The Town.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so he was
So
actually a part of that movie, or not a part of it, but the story about was about him in a
yeah,
way.
because see, they locked up the one dude who was a hitman. He admitted to it off the break, but then when they do the more research, the other person basically he wanted to be involved with it too because he's from Boston, so he wanted to make sure he got his you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
his recognition for handling that with Whitey. You know what I'm saying? And so the Fed, like that's what I'm saying. But that was like the 4th murder in that jail that year, and it wasn't even half into the year. And that's just in one spot. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple spots like USP Pollock, Louisiana, Beaumont, not so bad anymore, but Big Sandy. I've been to every U.S. penitentiary, right? That's a care level 2 and a couple care level 3s. I've been to Allenwood, USP Allenwood twice. I hate that spot. It was good for something, but bad for everything else. You know what I'm saying? Because it's also a lot of people don't know it's the ADX for the mental health. So there's like serial killers there. Like they had the dude that shot up the airport in Florida,
Yeah.
like maybe about 8-9 years ago or something like that. Shot all them TSA agents. He was there. Like they get all the mental health treatment stuff. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Uh well, I mean, let's talk about the guy who did in Whitey Bulger really quick, man. I mean, that's a very serious topic. It's a very serious topic because a lot of people felt like it was set the hell up, man. Like the dude just gets transferred from a somewhat nice prison in
he was at
Florida that he was chilling
he
in.
was at a special needs yard.
Yeah, and then as soon as he lands into the new compound, he gets done up pretty damn dirty.
I think he knew they was going to kill him, and he allowed himself to go out because he was in a wheelchair. Like, why? You're not supposed to be on this yard. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like literally, they killed him within minutes. Like, you know what
yeah,
I mean? It wasn't like he was there very long.
they knew he
And
was
that's really
coming.
how the feds is. We got emails. So if you did something here, people find out what jail you went to. They just send a quick message, and they're waiting on you by the time you get there. I tell dudes, dudes all the time, if you're hot, you told on somebody, any of that, man, everybody know. They're gonna know. And if
Yeah,
they don't know yet because nobody know you, is gonna find out because they're on the paperwork. And you got codes on the paperwork like 5K1s and Rule 35s and all that fancy little stuff that everybody, like, I'm a paperwork guy. I taught myself law work. I helped get myself out of jail, except for I did get, Trump did help commute my sentence because I was under the old crack law. So Obama passed a law in 2010, but it wasn't retroactive. So until Trump passed the
Oh,
Fair Sentencing Act, it made it retroactive for me
oh,
because I
that's all
still
right.
had many years to go.
Well, damn,
So
that's cool. I didn't know he made it retroactive. I didn't hear anything on that on certain cases. Okay. Well, that's hey, that's a blessing right there on itself, man. He wouldn't even be here right now if it wasn't for that.
I
That
wouldn't be here.
that's absolutely amazing, man. Ladies and gentlemen, how quick the law can change. So well, you're talking about people telling it and all that. A lot of people already know that about lockup. You don't tell nothing. If you do, sooner or later, someone's gonna find out. With this situation with Sweeney, the guy that originated the whole DMI, I guess you could say, or DMU, whatever they go by now. I mean, is he still respected by the individuals since all this shit? He's sending paperwork to this, that. I mean, how's he
In
even
the
trying to change it up? If how?
Well, he is at the ADX in Florence, Colorado for the rest of his life. He probably will never listen. He can't be around people. He's only a gangster in his cell. You know what I mean? Or in a wreck cage. He's too whacked out. But every white guy in the penitentiary system want to kill him. You know what I'm saying? Because he was with the Baltimore guys, you know what I'm saying? For the Baltimore car in the beginning of his sentence, and then tried killed the dude and everything with another black Baltimore guy. And then he really threw him under the bus. You know what I'm saying? I used to have the paperwork on it, but I have a Pacer account, so actually I could get any paperwork. So, because I did law work, so, but I gave it to his co-defendant because he was at Beaumont asking for, basically saying that he didn't kill him, his cellie did, and really, see, DMI, Sweeney volunteered to be on the DMI indictment. He wasn't in nothing because he's been fed place from the state. So he wasn't doing nothing. He got no control. All his mail is monitored, everything. But he volunteered to give up information to be on that indictment, threw his cellie under the bus from the murder. And he went to court from Texas, like in some paperwork. Never even went to court, you know what I'm saying, like for the DMI stuff, and got a life sentence and allowed his co-defendant for the thing to take the charge, basically, because he didn't know he was going to go get this life sentence. And this dude already had 35 years, and he could have went home already and got an extra 20 on top of it. Lucky he got 20. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Because in the feds, they give life for murder. You know what I mean? So he got 20 consecutive, but they started it back in like 2011. So, and he was already about 12 or 14 years into his other sentence. So he still ain't got, but so many more years left. He'll still see a light of day. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But as long as he don't kill nobody else.
He probably
Uh,
uh, jumped on that bandwagon, probably willingly because he wanted that solitary by himself situation, maybe.
well, he says that he tried to claim that he was taking all the blame, right?
Yeah,
But really, what he did was put all the business out there. He sent the whisper, he sent the paperwork, made up some new paperwork to go with it, because he's been making all types of stuff in his cell for the last 20 years, just making stuff. You know what I mean?
holy
Like, yo, he's
shit.
vicious, though. The dude wakes up at 4 in the morning and starts working out till about 8 o'clock that night. And he does all that like Billy Banks crazy extreme stuff. He can make all the weapons. Like, I mean, but he does stupid stuff. Like he'll call the police to the door and say, "Hey, you gonna get me a cell phone?" Like, because he knows that because like in the program, you got to go to the levels. So every time he was ready to make to another level where you start to deal with more people, he'd do something to get a shot. So he stays single cell. He
Yeah,
had one cellie, you know what I'm saying, the whole time that he took under his wing, and like I think he brainwashed the dude. The dude is supposed to be a good man, you know. I'm not gonna name his name or not even his nickname, but the dude was supposed to be a good man, and nobody can understand why he was messing with Sweeney because everybody know what he did. Because I sure the hell sent all my paperwork of him to everybody that ever even knew him. Because if you only know him from behind this door, right, then you just know he's a killer gangster if you don't know nothing else. But then when you start reading everything in black and white, you know what I mean? Because it's
yeah.
in black and white. then you're like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? But like, you don't want to be in a cell with him. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're not as big as him or as strong as him, like he might kill you when you're sleeping or anything. So like you ain't gonna get no sleep in that cell. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.